Okay, at last. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Could you speak a bit
Okay.
louder, please? It's not so fast.
Okay. Can you hear me, please?
Hold the microphone closer.
It's
Sorry?
very close. I'm going to the microphone. It's very close. Okay.
But
So the most important is to hear each other. Can you hear my voice?
yes,
Okay,
we can hear
great.
your voice.
Okay, bye. Okay, so because we had the technical problems today, first of all, to say my greetings to all the colleagues there, to Lira, to Elena, to Marina, to Professor Hatinyac, if she's there. Anyway, and I had prepared a presentation, but I think because I heard also the other discussions from Paul and from Marianne and Chris, they are all friends. I would like to make some comments. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me well?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, we
can
can.
you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you. Don't worry. It's okay.
Okay, so as you realized from the morning presentations from the Russian colleagues, I realized that there is a specific focus on issues about intercultural adaptation. What I would like to say is that this is a very important topic that we could see all together in a comparative study. That's why I sent a message to Edward for Professor Krupnov, who has made a study translated in 9 languages, that if he's interested, we could do the study also here in Greece. We could do the study, maybe I would say that to Marian, who is working in Helsinki on such issues. So this is an idea. Now, another thing that I realized is that there must be a connection between the Russian academic community with the Central, Northern, and Southern Europe. What do I mean? I know well that Edward is trying very hard there. We have communication, but it is very important to find a common dialogue. For example, in the Russian bibliography, as I see, you usually use the term polycultural. While, can you hear me, Edward? Hello?
Nectaria,
Can you hear me?
we should translate for
Can
our
you hear me?
students. Nectaria.
Μάλλον έχει πέσει και δεν μ' ακούνε.
Sorry, Nectaria.
Can
We
you hear
should
me?
translate to our students. Please,
Yes, Edward.
wait.
Can okay. I'll go a bit slower. Okay, slower. Okay. So,
in Russia, usually.
okay.
Okay, now we are translating your sentences. Okay, I try to answer you. In Russia, 20 years ago was Soviet Union, and that time in Soviet Union used another concept. International people. It means that all workers around the world should fight against capitalists.
Yes.
After that time, after Soviet Union time, this concept was like communist concept, need to change. Okay, and some researchers try to find new concepts and translate from Americans researchers multicultural word. And I have discussed with vice-president of Academy of Pedagogical Science, who explained me that he was first who translate from American English language multiculturalism like polyculturность, like polyculturalism. And then he was editor of the magazine Pedagogic. The main magazine is in the Russia, Pedagogic. And when he edit the articles, he corrected multiculturalism like polycultural education, That's why most of the Russian speakers, researchers, and teachers used this concept, polycultural education. And first step of history, it was same like in interethnic, multi-ethnic education. Then some Russian research used polycultural education like multicultural education. And nowadays, some researchers like Daniluk, Professor Daniluk, and I and some people's another concept, polycultural education, like multi-personality cultural education. I will do explain maybe another time what I think about this, because my English is not good, and I have a question to you about our presentations.
Okay.
Did you have time to see presentations Russian speaking researchers when I've sent you today?
Yes.
Did you have time to see them? Can you do some remarks about projects? Maybe some of them for you interesting.
Okay. Can I speak?
Yeah. Please speak.
Can you hear my voice?
It is, yes.
Okay. As I said in the morning, I read all the presentations you sent me. I also sent you a message, an email, commenting on the presentations, because I appreciate very much that people there, colleagues, are trying to open the international dialogue, and this is important for everybody. For example, I like very much the study of Professor Krupnov, who mentioned about intercultural adaptation. This is something that it is important to see maybe as a project. Intercultural adaptation, the scale and the questionnaire he used in 9 languages could be made a study, also in Greece here. I could say also to Marian to use it in Helsinki. So we can make something as a study and also as a project if you have an idea or if you find a call. Can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
My ideas. Oops.
We can hear you.
Can you hear my ideas?
Yes.
Can I speak? Can I say more?
Mm-hmm. Well,
hello?
Well, we are ready to join your project. We appreciate this idea. Professor Eduard Mikhailovich.
Okay, so one important issue, I'm writing also, one important issue is one important issue is to make comparative studies. The other important issue is to use common language, common concepts. As I said before, in the European community, we don't use the term polycultural. So I understand this term because, as I said before, poly comes from the Greek language. So this is something that it is for me familiar, but not for the other speakers.
We'll use the same term, the same concept in our joint research project. Некоторые вещи мне знакомы.
So, I would say, I don't know, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, that's good. So, what I'm saying, it is important to find some common terms. For example, when you use the term polymorphic education, I understand the term because it has Greek roots, but these terms maybe are not easy to understand for the other international colleagues. So, it is important when we write something beforehand to have explained clearly what we mean with this term. Another important issue that has to do also with students is what kind of dimensions we should give to intercultural education today. For example, if students from Europe follow postgraduate studies in America, there the emphasis is on some issues, as Paul said before, like issues of political oppression, issues of the other genders, or what we call the third sex. So, the term intercultural refers also to other groups, not only to the cultural and immigrant groups. Is this clear what I'm saying? If we speak about these issues in Northern Europe,
the connection was bad. Could you
before,
repeat, please, once again? The connection was bad. We couldn't hear you properly.
What is very important is to talk about competencies. Okay, I say that it depends on which country we are talking. For example, if we are in America, issues of interculturalism, there they prefer the term multiculturalism. They have a political focus and they refer to different groups. If we discuss the issues in Northern Europe, there they give emphasis on teachers' issues. Okay, so to finish this discussion, because I want to make a chat also with people there. Of course, as you see, because of time, I'm not going to show my presentation, but I would like to make some comments. What do you think about the term interculturicus, man? Interculturicus, man?
We recognize this term.
A new concept. Okay, you recognize this term. Can you tell me how you understand this term? What does it mean for you? Well, this is a term, for example, that is a term that we use now in the bibliography. With this term, we refer to the new type of citizen. A new type of citizen, a man that moves from one city to another city and interacts with other groups. So, this is a new term in the bibliography that we like using, okay? Okay, so this is something very important. We must see what are the new dimensions of intercultural education.
Which term do you mean? Could you please write to us the term?
For example, is the dimension on teachers' education issues. Okay. So these are new dimensions. I'm also writing for the students. Second, it's peace, education. Third is global education. Fourth is human rights education. So, these are some issues that are very important now in the direction of research okay, and in the direction of projects. So, if we want to see things in a comparative approach, these are the issues that interest mostly the academic community. Okay, so maybe we can find a framework working on this. This is what I suggest. I would also suggest people that make the effort to participate in this conference every year to have an international dialogue through email, okay, to see how we can work together to find something, okay, in these directions, either in a study or in a project, in order to present it the next year. This would be more interesting. For example, next year, to have a specific topic at the conference, not covering everything, but for example, intercultural education and human rights education. This would be more interesting to focus on something. So my suggestion is to focus on special aspects every time. This is something that I realized also as a need from the earlier speakers, colleagues, ideas, that they focus on some directions that all of them, okay, in a total frame, consist intercultural education today. I don't know if you would like to ask me a question or something, because you're waiting there for a long time, me here in order to get connected with you. So maybe 1-2 questions from you before stopping this chat. Would you like to ask me anything?
Dear Nectaria, I'd like to invite to you our famous professor from all Russian-speaking world, Professor Vera Khotinets. Vera Khotinets in ethnopsychology, professor, and she has some questions.
Нектария, hello, как будто бы долго не общались. Ответьте, пожалуйста, где можно почитать о том, что вы сейчас нам говорили, и вот прежде всего интересуют новые вот измерения человека, да, человека межкультурного.
Could you please tell us where can we read about all these intercultural men, all the dimensions in more detail? Can you hear?
Can you repeat the question? Because I didn't hear your voice in English. I heard only the Russian, but not the English. Can you repeat, please?
Okay, I'll translate the question. Where can we read your investigation of intercultural men, all these dimensions?
Can you? Okay. Now I understand. Okay. Well, this is a term that I have analyzed because, you know, this term is something that has also philosophical dimensions. I have discussed about this in a book. I had sent to Edward the prologue. So you can read some ideas about this in the prologue. Edward has the prologue. You can read it there. There are some ideas, but thank you for asking, of course, about this. But what is most important, I think, is to see if we can do things together. I mean, your studies there, if we combine something with our studies here.
Нектария, мы обязательно начнем с переписки и выясним вот все наши моменты сотрудничества и взаимодействия, и обязательно будем работать вместе.
While I'm translating, we will get contact with you with a view of further cooperation. We will work together, yes, cooperate and work on this problem together.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we can find a lot of common things theoretically, but also and in a study, in a research. So we have plenty of time. We can discuss these things with Edward, with you. Any idea is very welcome.
So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your ideas to cooperation between us. I think we do cooperation. Our professors have interested of your ideas. Welcome.
Okay, maybe because of the crisis, we have many ideas now, you know, to forget the crisis, the economic crisis. Anyway, okay, I think we can do things the two sides, let's say the Russian side with the Greek side, or with the other colleagues in Europe. Let's stay in touch through Edward or through email, and organize things at another basis for next year. Okay, to exchange ideas. Thank you for being with you through the internet and seeing your faces. Okay, and I'll also discuss these things with Edward in Athens in April.
Okay, we will.
Bye. Bye.
Now we should coffee break.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye.